Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to the channel. Right now we're going over a mini series of the 10 fitness commandments that I came up with, that I incorporate in my life on a daily basis, that helps me stay fit spiritually, mentally, and physically. And today we're going to be talking about the desire. It's got a few short notes, and then I'm going to expound on it just to explain what the desire is for me and how I incorporate desire in my lifestyle today. Desire, the definition of a desire is a strong feeling or wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. You can recognize the need for change, but you need to put the desire into action to see results. That's huge. A lot of people have the desire to want to change something in their lives, but they just don't know how to implement the action. And even if they do know how to implement the action, they don't know how to keep that desire going in order for them to stay on the straight and narrow and to keep the action going forward in a positive direction. Changing the desire for changing my life. If you don't know, many of you do know, I am an addict that has been delivered from the disease of addiction. And my drug use started at a young age, but it ended up evolving into something that is rather dark, and I found myself homeless in the streets of Boston, strung out on methamphetamine and fentanyl. And I was the bottom of the barrel junkie that you'd run away from when you saw me on a street corner. And today God has blessed me with this new life that I have. Don't even recognize the person that I used to be, and I'm not even comparable. But I do have the wisdom and knowledge of going through those things that made me a better person. But at some point, the desire became so strong to change, and I tried so many programs, so many different facilities, so many different outpatients, so many different fellowships. I tried so many different ways, drug replacement therapy. I just thought I had tried everything, and I became hopeless. And it wasn't until I was brought to a place of humility. I didn't care if I lived or died. I actually tried taking my life twice on my last day out there, and found myself in a Section 12 facility, psych ward. And that was one of my darkest moments that I can recall. But the desire for me at that point to change my life, because all I could think about was my two children growing up not knowing their father, or wondering why that I abandoned them. So the desire for me started there, and the desire became so strong to change that I said I need to do anything and everything I possibly can to change my life today. No more waiting, no more procrastinating. Tomorrow never comes. But at that point, I was really still broken inside, and I didn't know how to live a life without drugs. And I became a thief, I became a liar, I became a manipulator, I became all these different labels that wasn't me. So at first I had the desire to stop using, and I got put on a bunch of medications as a result of being in this facility after trying to take my life. And I thought that was the way to go, the way to live. I thought that was the solution, the cure-all. But I found myself a year and a half later, being unhappy, unsatisfied, looking at myself in a mirror, feeling disgusting, seeing pictures of myself where I look like I'm still using drugs because I'm so heavily medicated. And at this point, I'd already started serving the Lord, but there was just something that was preventing me from growing spiritually deeper into intimacy with the Father. And that was those drugs. That was me vaping. That was me just being consumed by fleshly desires. And at some point, I just remember crying out to the Lord on the way to work one day, literally crying, beating on my steering wheel, asking God, please help me. I don't want to be on these medications anymore. I know it's possible to live a life without these drugs. Help me now. I don't know what to do. And then one by one, out of the 7 medications that I was on and the nicotine I was consuming, I was able to drop those things in my life. And it's only by the grace of God. But with desire, you have to have action, and you have to have continuous action of consistency. You can't expect just to want something for it to happen. You got to put in the work, a lot of hard work. Don't get me wrong, like I have my daily struggles, and I'm human, and I struggle and sin every single day, and I have to keep that up front. But I do not pick up a substance today to cope with my problems. I do not fall short where I used to fall short before. I'm able to stay engaged with what the Lord has planned for me and what He has for my purpose. At that point, when I realized that I was looking unhealthy and needed to get off medications, at that point I had realized that I had started to accumulate a lot of excess weight, and I was weighing about 315 pounds, and this was a little over a year ago today. And I said, Lord, please help me. I don't want to die of an early age. I don't want to get diabetes. I don't want to have heart issues. I have already experienced the worst of the worst conditions where I've almost had to have limbs amputated, getting blood infections every other week, malnutrition from being on the streets and eating one half of a meal every couple of days, being completely dehydrated to the point where feeling like I'm going to fall over just standing up, not sleeping whatsoever because I couldn't get into the shelter and I was up on my feet all night long for weeks at a time. So I had experienced that, but now I was at a place where I had been indulging in gluttony, in eating too much, being consumed by another desire, desire of the flesh. So at this point I said, Lord, I need help. And I know it's going to take a long time to get back down to a goal weight or a healthy weight for myself, but I need to put in the work. So crying out to the Lord again, He gave me that desire to put forth action, and I got a gym membership, and I started working out on a daily basis, and it became a weekly basis, then it became a monthly basis, then it became, I need to go to the gym at least 5-6 days a week. And I took baby steps, and eventually I just started shedding weight. I started implementing nutrition 6 months after I hit the gym for the first time, and I started doing things differently and taking the approach for longevity and for health and for fitness and for my family and for my children, and I need to make sure that I'm going to be around a while and not be victim to one of these other diseases that are out there from the obesity problem that we have in America. So at that point, I started implementing the nutrition, the exercise, the supplementation, the hydration, and the rest. 5 things that keep me making gains and progressing and not hitting a plateau. And it was really amazing the results I saw at first, but I'm my own worst critic. There's days where I'm like, oh, it's not enough. I'm not my best, and I want to see results faster, but you know what? It's about consistency. It's about showing up every single day, putting in the hard work with intensity, and staying to the protocol and not deviating. And it's the same way I treat my recovery. I don't deviate from what it is that has kept me on the straight and narrow for this long. I don't deviate from what the Lord has for my purpose. And I try to stay focused on what it is God has called me to do. Like, never in a million years would I thought I'd be talking to anybody on YouTube right now about where the God has brought me from and where He's bringing me to, or even doing a daily devotion about any book in the Bible, because I couldn't even open the Bible 2 or 3 years ago because I was just so distraught with my walk with the Lord. And God just opens up doors, opportunities, and blessings, and I don't want to lose that desire. I don't want to lose what He has planned for my life. I plan on being around for quite a while. At 35 years old, I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my whole entire life. Spiritually, I'm the most fittest I've ever been, and physically and mentally, I have all 3 going on right now, and it's only because I keep my eyes on the cross. So number 3 for me is desire, and I pray that anybody that has the desire, that they're able to implement it into action and keep that desire. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget of all the hard work you put in. It's so easy for me to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to eat pizza tonight, or I'm just going to have a piece of cake, or maybe I'll just have a drink to take the edge off, or, maybe I'll go get a pill to take the edge off. But I know how fast, for me, because I'm an extremist, how fast these things can manifest and get out of control. I can't just eat one piece of cake. I can't have a couple scoops of ice cream. I got to eat the whole thing, the whole half gallon. I can't just take a pill because I'm going to be out there with a needle on my arm. That's just the reality of the situation. And I've come to accept that. I cannot do that anymore. This is what you need to do for me to stay within contact of God on a daily basis, if I don't stay united with what the Word is telling me, to have that open line of communication with the Father, to be able to just go to Him at any given time with any struggle, anything I'm going through. My desire is to serve God, ultimately. My desire is to bring Him glory for what He's done in my life, using my testimony to bring others to build the kingdom of heaven. So please, don't lose that desire if you have it. And if you're looking for that desire, ask God to give you that desire, and He will surely give it to you. If you like this video, or you like this series I'm doing, like, subscribe, share. Please, I'm just trying to get the subscriptions up there, and just trying to be able to just move this to the next level. And I know it's going to take time, but I have faith in what God is doing here, and I pray your faith increases as well. So with that being said, have a great afternoon, great night. See you later.